Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
The hypocrisy in this whole, and they again, they don't think anyone should be prosecuted on any gun charges of any kind, and it's just anyway. It was a continuous stream of vomit yesterday. I was like that South Park character. I just vomited through the entire thing. I put tarp down. It was like a Gallagher concert. Thank you. So now in the GOP show, what's next? What's next, Jody? What's up next? Oh, look, a government shutdown that Donald Trump is ordering them to do.
Yep.
Didn't he just troth? Did he troth on it? Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
apparently there have been some movement against shutdown overnight.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Some movement? Really? Some movement in the GOP show over there?
There's an extension until the end of October that I think is going to pass.
They're just a clown show.
Yeah.
And plus they're such idiots because, as we've said over and over, the DOJ keeps operating. Mm-hmm. This isn't going to shut down the prosecutions into your criminal orange warlord. Yes, Adam Schiff said, let's be clear about what the former president is saying here. House Republicans should shut down the government unless the prosecutions against him are shut down. He would deny paychecks to millions of working families and devastate the U.S. economy, all in the service of himself. Yeah, and Rapey McForehead already tweeted like, okay, Trump says it, hold the line. Meaning, shut the, really? Government down. To try to, and, okay. Okay, yes, Ron tweets, Democrats need to call it exactly what it is now that the truth is out in the open. House Republicans refuse to fund the U.S. government to protect Donald Trump. Madeline Dean was also great. Give me 21 just on yesterday's.
The American people are watching. They know what's going on here. This is a gross misuse of your time, your team's time, and our time. It is a shameful circus. It has a goal. The goal is to spew lies and disinformation.
Yeah, one more, Madeline Dean yesterday.
Ultimately, to tear away at the confidence of our independent institutions, in your case today, our very important Department of Justice. That's the exact MO of a former president. Tear away at the confidence of our independent institutions, whether it's our electoral system, the Department of Justice, the judiciary, and independent news media.
Jody, let me take your temperature this morning on Merrick Garland. How are you feeling?
I think there's a lot going on. And
he's got a lot on his plate.
He's got a lot on his
Jody's
plate.
running for something. That was a politician's answer. Yeah, I mean, this is what I just, I don't know why it was one of the stories about Russian involvement just reminded me, like, this is how we get here. The Obama administration didn't want to really say anything about Russia interfering because that's the thing. Everybody thought Hillary was going to win in a landslide. So just like, oh, let's not, because we're going to look, the GOP is going to say, the Republicans are going to whine and cry no matter what you do. So you might as well do the right thing. But it's just that whole appearance of partisanship and, oh, we shouldn't. And look what happened. Now look what's happened. We are literally
Look what you made me do.
Now look what you made me do. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt. Tina, get me the axe.
Bring me the axe.
Right. Sure.
I've memorized every word of that.
Yes. I'm sorry about the bearing wall again.
Tear down that bitch of a bearing wall and put a window where it ought to be.
That's regarding our democracy.
Yeah.
Tear down. Okay. Thank you, Christopher. One of your best performances.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay. Where was I?
I have no idea.
I'm teetering on the verge.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. It's a lot to wake up to every morning, isn't it? It's a lot.
You need a Heimlich?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Where was I? Yeah, no, just about us playing by different rules. That's what I mean. It's like, here we are with Merrick Garland because, you do partisan, blah, blah, blah. So David Weiss has been investigating 5 years over this bull, right? Now there's a special prosecutor. And look at them yesterday, the Republican. It'll still never be enough for them, right? They're just screaming for blood. And there is no there on the Hunter Biden thing or the Biden impeachment. And I just feel like Merrick Garland, this is how we sort of get here. Like, we've got to bend over backwards to seem fair and not part. And they play by no such rules at all. Okay, I need a 14, please. An injection of Gerald Nadler, who was also great yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, at the outset, let me make two comments. One, Just about every assertion you made in your opening statement has been completely refuted by witnesses who have testified before this committee. 2, far from being favored, many commentators have noted that people accused of simple gun possession while under the influence of a drug, when that gun was not used in the commission of a crime, are rarely, if ever, prosecuted the way Hunter Biden is being prosecuted.
That's right.
Yes, thank you. Thank you and thank you. I mean, it's just, this is at least the Democrats are there to fact check, because the Jordan thing reminded me of the Trump interview. Just everything he said's a lie. It's just, okay, one more, Gerald Nadler.
Mr. Chairman, one of this committee's most important duties is conducting oversight of the Department of Justice. We are called upon to ensure that the DOJ uses the enormous amount of power it is granted in a fair, just manner that respects the civil and human rights of all Americans. The Attorney General of the United States oversees issues that affect the lives of each and every American. Violent crime, drug trafficking, attacks on our civil rights, threats to our national security, and environmental crimes all fall under his purview.
Yeah, it's just this Republican Party is every single thing is how do we hurt this president? How do we hurt the president? How do we hurt the president? That's not the way America, okay.
It's not how you govern.
Thank you, Gerald Nadler.
That is why we regularly request that he or she appear before this committee to speak about the work the department is doing for the welfare of the country. This is how we ensure that the department stays accountable to the American people. But if it were up to the Republicans, Americans would hear nothing about any of these substantive issues today. They would hear nothing about the rise in domestic terrorism and what the Justice Department is doing about it. They would hear nothing about what the department is doing to stop hate crimes and prevent gun violence. They would hear nothing about how the department is disrupting efforts by Russia, China, and others to interfere in our elections.
Thank you. One last one, Gerald Nadler.
Extreme MAGA Republicans have poisoned our vital oversight work. They've ignored our legitimate oversight responsibilities and used their power to stage one political stunt after another. They have wasted countless taxpayer dollars on baseless investigations into President Biden and his family, desperate to find evidence for an absurd impeachment and desperate to distract from the mounting legal peril facing Donald Trump.
Thank you, Gerald Nadler. Okay, you know what? I am all about bipartisan. I'm a bipartisan peacemaker. Don't you think?
Really?
Yes.
All right.
I have a solution, since many of us on the left are irritated with Merrick Garland, and obviously many on the right are irritated with Merrick Garland. There is only one solution that can bring this country together. Jody, pay attention. We're teetering on the verge of fascism.
Okay.
And that is to fire Merrick Garland and appoint Hillary Clinton. That is the only thing that can, I think, bring us all together. Listen, I brought Stephen Stills around, so don't underestimate my. I wish I could take credit for this.
And he didn't even.
And I did think about calling him, but I didn't. But I think just the thought he was thinking I was going to call him, and I
don't even think, according to that story, that he even came around. He just kind of said,
"Yes, he did.
Absolutely.
I was there. He said I'm for Biden and for vaccines. He said what I said yesterday on air. I said maybe he just did a favor for his friend Eric Clapton, whatever." Yes, because I remember, I've forgotten this part. Last February, Stills, Crosby, and Graham Nash all announced they were taking their music off Spotify because of Joe Rogan's dangerous anti-vaccine misinformation. They said, while we always value alternative viewpoints, knowingly spreading disinformation during the global pandemic has deadly consequences. Until real action is taken to show that concern for humanity must be balanced with commerce. We don't want our music or the music we've made together on the same platform. So yeah, he shared the state that the problem is the picture is like him and Clapton and RFK Jr.
Yeah.
So he said, I support President Biden. I was there as a guest to support Eric Clapton, who was performing. Clapton is the one, you remember, who has opposed vaccine, and he wouldn't even play venues that required vaccination. But Graham Nash, I remember. I was trying to remember the whole history of Crosby, Stills, Nash. So RFK used their song Chicago in a promotional video for an anti-vax rally. At that point, Graham Nash said, I don't support his anti-vaccination position, as the history of the effectiveness of the COVID vaccine is well documented. I believe in science and facts and do not support such blatant disregard, neither for one nor for my rights as a musician. And he later announced that David Crosby had died after contracting COVID. So this is personal to them, you know, and I know Stephen because he's done a lot of favors for me, and I think Eric Clapton asked him to do something, and do
something for someone who is spreading vaccine lies.
I know. Well, obviously, that's why he thought better of it and backed away from it and made a statement that he's not supporting RFK Jr. He supports Biden. He said you can't say it more clearly. He said, I support President Biden and vaccines. There it is, my first drink of the day, Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And Z-Biotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine, I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.